Hey, it's Bonnie Hunter in the Quiltville studio, and I want to thank everybody who commented that they understood my lack of sojo over the past several days and giving me permission to just chill and just relax and to let things work out as they worked out. So I've done some things. I started out by cleaning out some of my studio, rearranging things. I went back to some UFOs and counted blocks and parts and pieces and saw how much was left, what it would take to make it whole. Is it a project I want to work on? Some things I'm just going to make smaller. Not everything has to be a bed quilt, but if I've got a handful of blocks, can I turn that into a table runner or a wall hanging or a topper or a baby quilt or a bag or something like that? I do not have to turn everything into a bed quilt. So neither do you, right? Okay. Can some stuff be incorporated into the backs of other projects? And I think that would be fun. In fact, I've got a huge tub. I mean, huge. It's trunk sized, of leftover units, blocks, parts, pieces that may become an orphan quilt of some kind. But what I decided to do was to take off the pressure completely, but I did count all the blocks that I had ready for my diamond tile quilt, including the ones that were already cut out. And you know what I found? 3. I was only 3 blocks short of what I needed to make this in a smaller size. Let me show you. I've got 49 blocks laid out, 7 by 7, because I already had more than 42, so why not just make a few more and make it 7 by 7 and set it 49. And what I'm going to do is play with some sashing ideas so that the sashing will connect everything. Why sashing? Because when you put these things together this way, if seams don't match up perfectly, they don't match up perfectly, and because the things are trimmed after piecing, I don't know. I just think I might add another element if I add some pieced sashing, and that will make it maybe a little bit more dynamic and a little bit less expected. I don't know. I just did not like how they came together, and if seams didn't match perfectly, it just really shouted off to me. But these were made with leftover charm squares in the centers, and then leftover strips became the outsides. And this is what I've got. This is my leftover box of random charm squares. So maybe there's some that reused most of the charm pack, but there are some ridiculous ones that when they're cut, let's see, what can I find here? When things get cut, you just don't know what to do. So like here's this big giant polka dot. There were some that had like partial flowers on them. I must have pulled all the really weird ones out that I was thinking of. But there's ones like this. Okay, so this was in a charm pack, and I think it was like a Rapunzel. But what do you do when the cutting of the charm pack just misses the mark and there is, weird stuff in there? Okay, look at this one. Yeah, I think this was the offending charm pack that was just sitting in my stash because, hello, what are you going to do with this? Here's another one where this was the square in the charm pack. It was Owl and the Pussycat, I think. But I mean, I could fussy cut that smaller, but I mean, really hard to use. So a lot of these weirdo ones, I mean, it's really a bad charm pack. Great colors. Love it. Maybe love it in big pieces, but as a charm pack, it just made it really difficult. It gets worse. Difficult to use. So some things, yeah, now stuff like this, geometrics, I absolutely love. So I went through a lot of my odd charm packs and found a way that they're cut a little bit smaller for this, and found a way just to kind of focus on some of the fun things in the centers. I love these little boats made out of little newspaper folded boats. You guys are probably too young to remember doing that as a kid. We didn't have electronics. We had paper. So that's what I'm doing. This was another one. And I love the colors. but it's all background, and then there was just this little flower that was left on the side of the charm pack. So some things just don't work as charms, but they'll work as this. So this is my plan. This has already gone to 5 minutes, so I'm going to cut it here, but I'm off to piece some sashings and see what this turns out like. If I lose my sojo again, just tell me to take a few days off, and I'll find it. Eventually, I get back around to what I need to be doing. Have a wonderful Friday, everybody.